Fa-Jing. So if you look at what my hands are doing here, when I do the punch, I'll just try and do it slow. Now if you see what my hand's doing here, it's exactly the same thing, you see. I'm doing Fa-Jing, only I'm doing it in a controlled manner and slower than I would normally do push Fa-Jing. Yeah, you've got to learn to push right into my chest, Ben. You must make sure you don't lose that power stance when you, because most people tend to get into the power stance at the beginning, and they slowly learn, and then they get back to a more normal stance, and they lose that torque from the waist. So we're working against, all this teaches us is to strike. I'm not pushing. If I were pushing, I'd be trying to push Ben. See, that's a push. See, I'm moving forward and pushing. I don't want to push someone. I want to strike. Fa-Jing is centrifugal or centrifugal. It's circular. It goes like this. So when I punch someone, I want to take his head off like that and then come back ready for further strikes, you see. Everything, if I go like this, I've either got to then go bang or bang, bang, you see. If it's circular, it happens in an instant, of course, bang, you can do anything from circular, see, because it naturally comes back. And so that's what I'm aiming at, is going, what? Taking his head off or taking his neck off. So when I'm in my training, that's what I'm actually training to do. So why then should I try to push him over? That means I'm trying to hit him over here. I'll miss him. I'll go like this. I want to hit him here. So when I'm training against Ben's arm, I'll be trying to, what I'm trying to do in my mind is to push him in the chest in a circular strike like this. I'm not trying to go right through him. I'm just trying to go, what? You only need to go that far in any of the vital points in the body, and that's what we're ultimately aiming for, is vital points in the body, and you only need to go in that far with an explosive movement, because it puts a shock wave up into the brain if it's in the head, or down into the livers and kidney and lung and heart. You get a heart percussion if you put it into the heart. So you only need to go in like an inch and a half at the very, very most. So that's the sort of move I want to get, like that. So that's the sort of thing I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at his chest, but he doesn't want me to touch his chest. So that gives me something solid on which to push, and which trains my whole body in doing Fa-Jing now. You're exercising your shoulders, triceps, waist in particular, because I'm literally just holding my hand there. I'll get into the technical details of this later, exactly how to do it, but I'm holding my hand in my center. Now the only thing that's making me turn my body is my waist. And if Ben just stands there and waits for me to push his waist, for instance, if Ben's going to turn your center into it, you must have, if you do go like this, you see, wrong, you've lost your center. You're not learning Fa-Jing, now you're learning how to punch like this, a linear punch. Now you're learning circular punches, centrifugal punches. So when when Ben attacks, my weight will be on my right leg. I say right and rear leg rather than front and back, because your feet aren't really that far apart. So when we're really stepping side to side, or changing the weight side to side. So you see, if Ben's taking my chest, if he just leaves his hand there, that's where I'll be on the front leg. All I literally have to do is to change my weight and see what happens. Now look where it's gone. You see, it hasn't attacked any vital points. It just, well, there are them there, but it's done much less damage. It's missed me, and it's just turned my body, you see. And that's what we're looking for in fighting. The other day when we were training in the class, one of the lasses said, they were training by themselves, and one of the lasses said, when I went to do it with her, she said, but when I push you, you're always to my side. And I said, well, yeah, that's good. That's exactly what we're aiming for. Just throw the punch again there, Ben. That's where you should be, to the side, you see. That's the ideal position, 45 degrees across your opponent's body. That's the absolutely ideal position. Even if it's throw punching in there, but even if it's that, see how I've come in from the side, and look at the stance, power stance, you see? I've still come in from the side. And so that's what we're training in single push hands, is exact bodily alignment and using the exact right muscle groups to train your body in Fa-Jing. Now, when Ben pushes on me, if he feels this, for instance, push, I did it, you see? I did it. That's controlled, I did it. That's what I'm getting, that's what I'd like to get to, as a controlled as opposed to subconscious movement. Even though we're doing it slowly, we can still be out of control, illogical. Because what should happen is, when Ben pushes on me, he should feel a big weight here, and he keeps pushing until he's pushed me. All I have to do is to loosen up my waist. The waist is a very big object, and it's got a lot of muscles around that area. And so it's very difficult to loosen it up, firstly, and it's also very difficult for a person to push the waist around. So that's where you get your torque from and your tension. So when Ben pushes, he should feel, see the little bit of what? It's like pushing a bicycle wheel. It's difficult at first. Once the bicycle wheel starts turning, whoosh, your hand flies off, doesn't it? And that's exactly what we're looking for. I don't want a motor in the bicycle wheel. I just want the bicycle wheel static. Now all I've got to do to begin Ben's moving over this way, is literally to change my weight from my right foot to my left foot in this case, or the vice versa if we're doing it on the other side. So as he's pushing, you see, there's tension. Now I'm just holding it there with pung. You've got to learn solid pung. Now all I've got to do is change my weight, and he has then turned my waist for me because I've changed my weight. You see, look. If he's just pushing on there like that, and just push, and I just, that's another part of your training. This, we'll get onto that later though. This is what you should be doing as well. You should get your partner to really push on your arm and just trying to hold him off using pung. We'll get into that later though. Now all I have to do is to move my weight, which causes his hand to go out this way, and he has then pushed my weight around. But if your partner feels this, push, see, I did it, he didn't do it. That's probably the most difficult part for people to get, to be out of control, because human beings like to be logical, they like to be in control at all times. It's like when you're giving someone a massage, and you get around to the neck and you're doing, and they're going like this, trying to help you, because they like to not be out of control. They don't like to just lay there and allow you to do it. They think they have to help you in some way. So they'll raise their neck and you say, but relax, relax, I don't want you to move your neck. And it's exactly the same as this. Ben's giving me a massage now, see? He doesn't want me to go, that's me raising my neck. He wants to lift my neck by himself. You notice how my center stayed in my wrist. This is incorrect. This, so push again there. See, I've lost my center. Here's where I want to be, coiled here. I can't punch using Fa-Jing. Here I'm coiled ready for the waist, bah, to spiral up and bah, and strike. Your breath should be just deep and even. It doesn't have to be slow, because this does get fairly strenuous. Now before we get into the technical details of this, you should do this until your arm feels like it's going to drop off. Only then you change sides. So you're going like this for a long time. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Then you get to the point where, okay, let's change sides again. And that's the only way you'll learn. You might be doing it on one side for half an hour before you really feel that. Well, you have to do it that way. I literally trained for hours and hours. I can remember literally training and then looking at my watch saying, oh, it's dinner time. You just get so into this single pushing hands.